Alright, this is Henry again, and today I'm going to be doing part 1 of my review of the Master Grade 00 Gundam 7 Sword G. Okay, so since I'm temporarily unable to paint, I'm going to be doing this review of the completely unpainted model kit. So this is what it's going to look like straight out of the box with no paint, no panel lines, no nothing. This is just purely snapped together. So basically what you're going to get in the box is the Master Grade 007 sword, obviously, that comes with the GN Buster Sword 2, the GN Sword 2 short and long versions, GN Katars, the GN Sword 2 Blaster, 2 beam sabers on the back. You also get a few extra accessories. You get these two little mount parts for the GN Katars that will let you put them on the sides of the GN drives here, as well as connect them together. And you connect them together with this part, which you'll see more of that when I do the accessories portion of the review. You get 2 clear pink beam saber blades, pretty standard size and shape. You get a black flexible wire for the GN Sword 2 short version. You actually get 4 different hands with this kit. You get 2 hands, which are standard Master Grade hands with posable fingers, and then you get 2 hands that are kind of like the Gundam Wing Master Grade hands that have fixed pose fingers but have a ball joint for the thumb. So you get 2 different options for the hands on this kit. Speaking of the fixed pose kits, you get 2 sets of closed fist fingers and then 2 sets of weapon gripping fingers. You've got 2 small little mount parts to connect the GN Katars to the forearm. You get, let's see, 1, 2, 3 little connector things, 2 connectors for the GN Sword 2 long and short, and then 1 connector to connect the GN Sword 2 Blaster to the GN drive on the side. You get an action-based connector, and you get a tiny little figure of Setsuna FCA. Actually, 2 of them. One of them is inside the cockpit. And this kit does come with a few leftover parts. You've got just a few, maybe like 5 or 6 parts left over. I'm guessing these are probably left over from Master Grade 00 qan-t, since some of the inner frame parts are shared between these 2 kits. And last but not least, you get some stickers and decals. You get a set of dry transfer decals. It looks something like that. You get a set of foil stickers. It looks like this. As you can see, we have 2 different options for the eyes. All of these GN condenser stickers ought to look really nice up under those clear green parts. And then just some other little things. These green ones right here will go on the Buster Sword. So just various things there. And finally a sheet of clear stickers for most of the caution markings. As you can see, we also have some options here for a couple of the GN condensers and another option for the eyes. Now, one important thing that you'll want to consider when buying this kit, or deciding to buy this kit, is about the lights. Yes, it does light up in 4 different points, but this kit does not come with any LED units at all. Unlike the Master Grade 00 Riser, which at least came with 1, this one doesn't come with any. So if you do want some, you're going to have to buy them separately. Alright, so I'm going to be splitting this review up into 2 parts. I'm going to spend the rest of this video going over articulation and the inner frame, because I'm going to need an entire second part to go over all of the weapons that this guy comes with. So, let's say we get started. Alright, so the head is actually not on a ball joint like most other Gundam model kits are. The head is actually on a triple hinge, and the reason for that, actually I'll show you just by popping the head out, is to allow for the light up gimmick in the eyes. The LED is down on the chest, and the neck joint is actually clear. So, we still get pretty good movement out of the head though. We get up and down, and we also get a little bit of side to side, not much, and then of course it'll rotate 360. So even though it's not a ball joint, it still goes pretty much anywhere that a ball joint can go. So I thought that was pretty nice. These GN drives, the shoulder down in the torso part has got a really funky mechanism here. You can actually like pull the whole side of the torso out, and it actually looks pretty bizarre. It actually comes out like this, and if you do it on both sides, your 00 Gundam is going to have this like weird chest break looking thing where it can spread out all the way like so. And then it'll go forward and back and all that, and up and down as well. So pretty good shoulder mobility. One small complaint I have right here is that the shoulder armor tends to come loose, but to put it back in place, all you got to do is press it back down on the peg and it's tight again. And then the arms will rotate 360, or they could if it weren't for these GN drives. And they'll actually come a little bit further up than 90 degrees from the body, so that's nice. Of course, 360 below the shoulder. Got a double jointed elbow, but it's only going to bend about that far. More than 90, but not nearly 180. That's just because of the shape of the forearm here. The, I guess, wrist part right here can move, and as you can see, the GN condenser rotates on that joint as well, so that's a nice touch. And the wrists, I really like the wrists on this kit. They're not ball joints like on a master grade. They're, let's see, how many joints? 1, 2, 3 joints in the wrist. There's a peg. As you can see, they just peg in, so they can obviously rotate 360. But there's a joint that lets them go up and down, and then inside the hand, there's that joint that lets them go forward and back. And it's just a really nice little joint, I think. I wouldn't mind if Bandai started using these more often. So anyway, right here I've got the standard master grade, whoop, hand just flew away, I'll use the other one. Standard master grade hands, ball joint for the thumb, and each finger is ball jointed, but these three are all connected together. Like I said earlier in the video, you also get some fixed pose hands. Well, not entirely fixed pose. They have the same exact wrist joint that the other ones have that I just showed you. The thumb is on a ball joint, although it's a different thumb. It's actually curved down a little bit more. And you get two options for fingers. As you can see here, I've got on the closed fist fingers, so it actually looks pretty nice. And then you've got some weapon gripping fingers, and you've got a peg down there that'll be able to attach to all the weapons. So that's actually a pretty nice little feature for the hands, I think. Anyway, moving on to the rest of the torso, you've got a swiveling, well, not, I don't know if swivel's the right word, but you got a joint that'll let him rotate all the way to the side, each side like so. You've also got some forward and back, like so, and of course 360 at the waist. And of course there's the feature that I always seem to forget in my reviews, the cockpit hatch. Basically it's just got two mechanisms. This white thing is going to slide forward like so, and then there's a small little door. You'll probably want to get something like a GN guitar to open that up, and down inside you'll see a tiny Setsuna FCA. The side skirts are on ball joints, although I find they pop off kinda easy. Just might want to be careful with those. There's a little door right here that opens for the GN Sword 2s to connect, but I'll show you that in part 2. The back skirt is actually on a peg, so it can go up and down and rotate. Likewise, this thing that I guess counts as a front skirt can go up and down and rotate. It's on a ball joint. Let's see, there goes the side skirt again. The hips are on a peg system rather than a ball joint, so they can go out 90 degrees. They can go forward and back, and of course 360 below the hip. The knees are double jointed and can bend about like that. Pretty much a full 180, although there's kind of a large gap between the upper and lower leg, but that's just Double Riser's design. And this little piece of armor right here will kind of slide around while you're bending the knee, so that's kind of a nice attention to detail on Bandai's part. The ankle armor will go up and down just like on the perfect grade. And the ankle joint, you get 360 on a peg, and then side to side almost a full 90 degrees to each side. And you've got a little bit of forward and back, and the foot has a single joint in it which will let it go down and up like so. So I think that just about covers articulation. Wait, no it doesn't. I haven't done the articulation of the backpack. You've got a little door right here that slides open. Well, for the life of me, I can't get it open right now, but either way, we're not really going to be using it on this kit because that's for the O-riser. But the mounts for the GN drives can go forward and back a little bit, not very much. They can go up and down some. There's rotation right there. They can go up and down right here. And this little switch right here on the top is actually a locking mechanism. When it's out in this position right here, the GN drive is pretty much free to move wherever it wants. However, if you put it out and then switch the switch again, it locks it in place so it can't go down nearly as far. When you unswitch it, it goes back down further. So it doesn't really help all that well. I guess it does help a little bit for this kit if you have it on an action base, but if you just have this kit standing on the ground, the GN Buster Sword is going to be touching the ground anyway because it's so large, so that joint's not really going to be helping us too much if he's standing. Same thing with the GN Sword 2 Blaster on this side. But if he's on an action base, then those switches are definitely going to come in handy. Also, there's another small locking mechanism on the bottom of the GN drive mounts right here, which basically, if you lock it in place, will allow you to keep the GN drive from sinking down any further than you want it to. So it'll be able to hold up pretty much anything you could mount on there. And the thrusters actually have a little bit of movement right here. They can go up and down, but you'll notice it's not just the thruster. This little gray part above the thruster also moves along with it. So that's a pretty nice touch. They're on like little ball joints, but they don't really rotate or wiggle or go side to side, just pretty much up and down. So I guess that about does it for articulation. Now let's take a quick look at the inner frame. And this is a quick look at the inner frame. As you can see, the kit has pretty much a full internal skeleton. Even the head and the backpack for the GN drives have inner frame parts to them. So Bandai definitely did a really good job on this kit. And not only does it have a full inner frame, it's got pretty good mechanical detail on it. In my opinion, the mechanical detail on this Master Grade is better than it was on the Perfect Grade 00 Gundam. So in that aspect, I think this is a really good job on Bandai's part. One thing I did forget to show you during the articulation part was one of these joints in the hip. It's got one of those funny joints that kind of swings back and forth. So it'll go down like so. You can see the hips at two different levels right there. And then it'll swing back up. And basically that's just going to let you perform some more dynamic poses. So, a very, very nice job on this kit. Although the head doesn't really have much of an inner frame, it's basically just clear parts to allow the eyes to light up. But nonetheless, it's still, I guess, technically an internal frame. So, I guess that about does it for part 1 of the Master Grade 00 Gundam 7 Sword G review. Just make sure to come back for part 2, where we'll go over all of the weapons and accessories, and we'll get to light this guy up like a Christmas tree. So with that, I'll see you guys next time.